everybody. Welcome to this month at the museum. Happy April, it's springtime, and this month's featured artist is Amy Jasek. She is a Texas born and raised artist. She graduated from the University of Texas at Austin with a BA in theater and dance. She then spent a decade in other colder places, ignoring her passion for writing, before settling back down in the Lone Star State and eventually picking up her pencil again. She's a dedicated, sometimes professional, film photographer and cyanotype artist. Mother to one precocious teenage, hopeful, author, science-minded daughter. Amy is currently based in Round Rock, Texas. This is her monthly art exhibit titled The Body Botanic, and it has cyanotypes and original poetry. And you can actually, we have, if you want to look at the whole book, that's part of the art exhibit display as well. The cyanotype process was discovered in 1842 by Sir John Herschel. Anna Atkins, daughter of a botanist friend of Herschel's, is known as the first female photographer thanks to the series of cyanotype botanical photograms that she made into books. The process was used to create blueprints well into the 20th century. It now enjoys a special place in the hearts of many artists who enjoy it as a source of great creative potential. As a photographic process, it is simple and easily accessible for people of all ages. All but two of the pieces in this exhibit by Amy Jasek are traditional cyanotypes. Eyes and ears are cyanolumens, made with a process that involves coating photographic paper with cyanotype chemistry and then exposing it to the sun. The last Saturday in September every year celebrated as World Cyanotype Day. It has grown since 2015 into a worldwide party for the love of blue. Speaking of florals from that botanical cyanotypes, it's red poppy season right here in Georgetown, and we have not only great red poppy gear that you can buy right here in Willie's General Store, but we also have a mural dedicated to Henry Pearl Ochre Compton, also kind of known as the father of the red poppies of Georgetown, and the reason why Georgetown is actually the red poppy capital of Texas. So come, let me tell you a little bit about it. So Henry Pearl Ochre Compton was a World War I soldier, and he was of German descent, as many of our Williamson County citizens are. But he spent time in France and actually was able to travel to Flanders Fields. And he was so moved by the red poppies that he actually took some of those poppy seeds and sent them home to his mother, who lived in what we consider Old Town now, near 6th Street. And she planted those poppies, and those poppies continued to grow. And by 1990, the state of Texas actually named Texas as the red poppy capital of Texas. We have a mural in our museum that kind of showcases this and was part of our World War I exhibit, was From Poppies to Progress. It features J.V. Pinkin Wilson, who also wrote the Texas A&M fight song while on sentry duty during World War I. It follows the red poppies and Henry Pearl Ochre Compton. It also talks about the Student Army Training Corps at Southwestern, and even went into the progress that was seen in the 1920s with local suffragettes, like Jessie Daniel Ames, who you've heard on some of our videos lately. But Henry Pearl Ochre Compton was an inventor. And how did he even get that nickname, Ochre? Well, one season, he decided that he was gonna plant okra, because his neighbor had planted 1 acre of okra and done really well, made a lot of money. So he decided, instead of planting cotton like my father told me to, I'm gonna plant 100 acres of okra, and I'm gonna make so much money. Well, he did that, but you have to think about that. 100 acres of okra, that's probably enough okra to feed almost all of Williamson County at that point. And okra and cotton look very similar when they're growing. And it wasn't until too late that his father actually found out that Henry was growing okra instead of cotton. And then he told him to switch it really quick. There was still time in the growing season they could switch it, but then it rained, and it rained, and it rained, and he had so much okra and they had a horrible growing season. They did not make any money off of that okra, but it stuck. Henry Pearl Okra Compton. And he was actually in that World War I exhibit. Did you know that he was actually in Ripley's Believe It or Not? He spent 21 days in a trench without a gun and even took Germans captive because he spoke German. So he was kind of a larger-than-life character, an inventor, but really responsible for sending those poppies home. And we thank okra for that. We have some exciting events coming up this month. Our first one is going to be the next installment of our virtual salon on Wednesday, April 14th at 6:30 p.m. If you want to join us, you can get a Zoom link by emailing our curator, Margaret Taylor, at mtaylor@williamsonmuseum.org, or you can just at 6:30 p.m. that night join us on Facebook Live. The virtual salon will feature Gerald Anderson talking about Bill Pickett, who's the first Black cowboy inducted into the Rodeo Hall of Fame. So come join us and learn all about Bill Pickett. Our next event that we have coming up is on Saturday, April 24th, which is Spring Fling. So come on down to the museum on that Saturday. We'll have some fun crafts, maybe even some living history reenactments. You might even get to meet Henry Pearl Okra Compton. Maybe not the real person, but at least somebody reenacting to be him. And maybe there might even be some fun spring deals in our store. And finally, this doesn't quite happen in April, but our 15th annual Pioneer Day is gonna happen on Saturday, May 1st. It is a free event at the Old Settlers Association in Round Rock. It is gonna be Saturday, May 1st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll have chuck wagon people out there, living history demonstrations, textile demonstrations, crafts. Come join us and have a free, fun day of Pioneer fun and celebrate our 15th annual Pioneer Day with us. Our featured nonprofit for this month is All Things Wild Rehabilitation, which is a perfect nonprofit for spring and baby season. But the mission of All Things Wild Rehabilitation is to promote respect and compassion for all wildlife through public education and awareness, to rescue and rehabilitate sick, injured, orphaned, and displaced wildlife and release them back into the appropriate habitat, and to provide sanctuary for all animals in need. All Things Wild began in 2012 when a group of wildlife rehabilitators banded together in order to help more wild animals. For 6 years, All Things Wild was a home-based organization with volunteer rehabilitators and their sub-permittees working in their homes. During baby animal season, from April to October, utility rooms, spare bedrooms, second bathrooms, and patios were covered with cages of orphaned, sick, and injured animals. However, their fortunes improved in April 2018 when they signed a lease for 2 acres of undeveloped pasture land north of Georgetown. Their newly constructed center opened in March 2019 with the capacity to not only feed and care for wild animals, but to provide medical care as well. Along with the new center, volunteers also operate an educational program that brings information about wildlife to children and adults. If you'd like to support their mission, you can become a volunteer, host a wildlife release site, or donate to their new education building through their website at allthingswildrehab.org or All Things Wild Rehab on Facebook. Bye everybody, hope you had a great time learning about everything we have going on this April at the museum. Hope to see you at the 15th Annual Pioneer Days on Saturday, May 1st. Have a great month, everybody.